Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Jem's Gaming Conundrums, with me, Jem, of Featherhead Gaming. After the rapturous success of our pilot episode, you'll be pleased to hear that Conundrums is here to stay. Each month we will bring you the answer to another of the vast mysteries of the digital world. This time around, our question comes from one of our esteemed viewers. This month, that special individual is none other than Max the Game Dev, who, as you can see, is a duck. The question posed by this basement-dwelling genius is one that has puzzled myself for many a year. So, without further ado, I can reveal that today's conundrum is: why Sonic eat rings?
I've got a question for you, and we're coming through. Who gave Leighton his hat? Why does Link stand like that? It's Jem's Gaming Conundrums.
Jem's Gaming Conundrums.
On the surface, this question may appear to be incredibly simple. Indeed, when I set out upon this endeavour, I thought just that. However, after weeks of research into the seedy underbelly of our world, I have finally unearthed the secrets of the digestive system of the common hedgehog. The total lack of information available upon this subject through www.askjeeves.co.uk is astounding. We can only conclude that some government agency or some collaboration between such agencies has been working extremely hard to hide the secrets of hedgehog anatomy from the citizens hurtling through the stars upon this spaceship Earth. Having come to this realization during the first few days of my research, I quickly made contact with the black market of information that is available through the dark web. I discovered this goldmine of information at the sprightly age of 11 after I was banned from Wikipedia for allegedly changing the image under the article pertaining to one Benedict Cumberbatch to differing freeze frames from 2011's Paul on 314 separate occasions. That is how my solicitor advised me to word it anyway. See you in court, Benny. As I was saying, I plundered the dark places where forgotten Wikipedia articles are smuggled by corrupt moderators for hints as to the whispered specifics of the anatomy of the hedgehog. My plunder was in vain, however. The dark web had been picked clean of the information I was looking for. Someone was making sure that I had nothing to find. I pondered on this new and unsettling information. Could this be someone's idea of a joke? I thought to myself between sips of my milkshake. I thought of my many enemies. There was that James who works at Co-op round the corner. There was Benedict Cumberbatch, His Royal Highness the Duke of York, Scary Spice, Dad, and the last 6 presidents of India. None of these seemed likely candidates, apart from maybe James, that utter bastard. And then it struck me that this was perhaps not about me at all. Maybe this was about the hedgehogs. And then it struck me yet again. What if it were about both? I was overcome by sudden reminiscence, as though Zeus himself had plucked at my memories and risen the most important of them to the cusp of my mind. In this vision of the past, I saw my 8-year-old self writing a story. Squinting through the mists of memory, I deciphered the frankly shocking handwriting of the small child I once was, and all was revealed to me. I was released from the grip of my strange vision and immediately reached for the telephone. I dialed a number I didn't even realise that I knew, and waited for the comfort of the dial tone. It came and went, replaced by a voice at the other side. In my haste to find answers to our Sonic-based questions, I had neglected to investigate through every source at my disposal. I had indeed scoured the depths of both the dark and the light webs, but I had forgotten the most important well of information known to humanity. That is, of course, a primary school library. Whilst I knew all the answers I sought, I needed to be sure. The results that I had came from a story written by my 8-year-old self. Whilst I was indeed wise beyond measure at this age, it was still just the ramblings of a child that I had to present as evidence to you, my dear viewer. I needed something concrete. I surmised that I must have acquired the information for my story from somewhere. As the school library was my only source of written information in such early days, it appeared fair to assume that this is where I would find my proof. As with most school libraries, adults are banned from crossing the threshold to this establishment. Fortunately for our puzzle, I have a man on the inside. My agent, who we shall refer to as Engelbert, is actually a 7-year-old girl. Having paid Engelbert his asking price of 3 packs of top trumps, he smuggled out every volume that contained even a mere hint of a hedgehog. I am pleased now to be able to present the facts to you, dear viewer. I will first begin with a retelling of that fateful tale initially retold by my 8-year-old self. Long ago, in the land of Saudi Arabia in South Africa, though wise I clearly lacked basic geography skills, lived the first hedgehog. There is little known about the evolutionary origins of this hedgehog. Some half-baked excuses for scientists in Berlin are spreading the lie that hedgehogs can be traced back to some Spanish quarry. This, however, is the fabrication of certain governmental agencies. It is easy to forget that we live in such a deceitful age. Continuing with the story, this particular creature was a heinous liar. His lies became known across the land, far and wide. The hedgehog thought himself above all other creatures, and treated the world with disdain and contempt. One night, the hedgehog came to a rickety wooden bridge. Without hesitation, he strode onto the bridge and began his journey over the desolate ravine below. No bridge would dare to drop him, and no ravine could hope to harm him. However, the hedgehog was stopped in his tracks by an elderly woman who stood motionless at the centre of the bridge, staring out into the night sky. "Move yourself," said the hedgehog. "I am a rich creature on my way to an important business meeting." The lie came as a reflex to this creature at this point. "Your lies will not work on me," cackled the old woman. With a great blood-curdling scream, the hedgehog winced in great pain. Great spines had appeared in the back of the poor creature, flattening it to the ground under the strain of its pure agony. One particular spine grew up through the hedgehog's stomach, slicing its vocal cords. "No more will you speak a deceitful word," howled the apparent witch. "I have cursed you and all creatures that will follow in your line." And with that, she vanished. When I originally wrote this tale as an essay under the title How the Hedgehog Got Its Spikes at the age of 8, I failed to understand its importance. The spine which severed the vocal cords of the first hedgehog had an unexpected side effect upon the digestive system of the beast. Due to the spine that sits directly in the centre of the creature's esophagus, hedgehogs were cursed to get by on nutrition that will fit around such a strange shape. In short, the diet of a hedgehog is limited to spherical, ring-shaped foods. And thus we have arrived at an answer to our initial conundrum. Sonic, being a hedgehog, is limited to a certain subsect of foods, and so the beloved blue blur consumes only his trademark rings. It is reasonable to assume that these rings are in fact augmented nutritional supplements that provide Sonic with all of the energy he requires to run at such phenomenal speeds. It is likely that the shape is a purposeful design, probably an attempt at an emulation of the donut. However, while our initial question appears to have been answered, more have appeared in its place. Why was this information so very hard to find? Who could possibly benefit from hiding it? Why, when the information was so very hard to find, was the information so readily available to those at the top of Sega? And why did they choose a hedgehog? But my biggest questions lay with the origin story of the hedgehog's spines, so I decided to do some more digging. And I was stunned by what I found. Through the collation of sources spreading across the last several centuries, I have arrived at an answer to the biggest question of all. Who exactly was this witch character? Several diary entries from early Druids speak of an ancient hater of hedgehogs. This man went by the name Armilne. It is my belief that this is the witch we hear of in the tale. This druidic man, under the guise of an old woman, cast a spell upon the first hedgehog. This witch, through further sorcery, clearly discovered the secret to immortality. I say this because there has been another Armilne in more recent memory. If we separate out the name into one with two initials at the beginning and remove its ancient accent, we get none other than A. Milne, the creator of Winnie the Pooh. All became clear now. Who could possibly benefit from suppressing a tale that placed Winnie the Pooh in poor light? Who else but the Communist Party of China? Sega had clearly stumbled upon this information whilst enjoying the company of school libraries in their shared corner of irrelevancy. And who could forget that infamous Sonic Says?
Free Hong Kong.
It is clear from this that Sonic's creation and his consumption of spherical foods are a direct political message from Sega in favour of the people of Hong Kong. We're pushing the boundaries of gaming journalism with James Gaming Conundrums. Your support means a lot, and these questions don't get answered if you don't ask them. Comment below with your own conundrum and your answer could be next. Until next time.
Free Hong Kong.